Welcome back to Rubbin'minds. Before we went on the break, we were discussing the Constitution and how the Constitution can be either amended or let the political willpower of the people that we've actually put in charge, the custodians of this democracy, to enforce it politically. Right now, we want to move on to an area that really affects young people, young Nigerians. As you know, Rubbin'minds is a show that is really targeted towards young Nigerians. With the rate of unemployment in the country, a lot of young people are tilting towards content creation, and it has become one of the fastest growing industries and one of the fastest growing niches when it comes to entertainment. So to discuss streamers and content creators and how they make money, I have a media personality and YouTuber, Eric Newkid Okafor, in the studio. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Good to see you again. I can see your trademark is there.
Yeah.
Interesting. Also joining us from our Abuja studio is a writer and content creator in the person of Vera Chiamaka Obiajolo. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Chiamaka. So first of all, tell us, how did you start content creation? What exactly is content creation? How are you a creator?
Well, it's just like, you know, how you see movie actors and everything. And I've always loved entertainment. I've always loved acting. And I remember when I was in secondary school, I was like, I'm going to go into this, but I didn't really know how to go about it. Then, you know, after school, I remember I was in my hostel in the uni, I think my 200 level, and I used to watch so many creators on YouTube. I watched so many people on Instagram, and whenever I'm down, whenever I'm sad, I go on YouTube and I watch people, and I really love the content. I'm like, why can't I create this? Why can't I become a content creator? I mean, these people are doing it, and I just decided to start up my YouTube channel just for fun of it, just to create content. I didn't even know anything about, you know, creating content on YouTube. I didn't even know how to edit my videos. I was just, let me just go with the flow. You know, the important thing is just starting, just starting. So I decided to start, and I was learning how to edit on YouTube as well. I was also following so many other content creators, you know, to learn from them. And I didn't even know my niche. I didn't know what niche was. I didn't even know anything. Just create. I'll just create. I'll even post. I remember I accidentally deleted one of my first videos because I didn't even know how to navigate my ways on YouTube. But I was just creating. I was still watching other people who inspired me. I was like, let me just keep creating. I was doing so many things. At the time I was doing motivational videos. Even though I needed motivation, I was doing inspirational videos. But I was just going with the flow. I was doing lifestyle vlogs and the rest of it. I was doing so many things until I finally found my niche. I'm very animated. I love physical comedy. So I was like, you know what? Let me just try this. Yeah, let me try physical comedy, relatable content, like everyday activities that we go through. And in 2022, I started my YouTube channel in 2017, actually. But I was able to monetize in 2020. It took me
so we're going to get to the business of things.
My channel.
We're going to get to the business side of this conversation. But yes, your hard work truly paid off. I was very shocked to see that you have 1 million followers on YouTube. We're going to get to that conversation. Eric, you are a tech creator. Also, you're very vast. You're not just restricted to tech.
Yes.
So how did your journey start?
For me, it started, should I go way back or I should just start from the middle? The middle. Because, okay, so I was very interested in tech. I am interested in smartphones. Majorly, then it was Symbian phones, the, breakout from Touchlight phones and all that. And I used to obsess about playing games with it, tweaking it and pressing every single option that there was. I was one of those people who, even before this new generation of phone pressers came out, I was a phone presser. And then, my brother would let me press his phone all the time. Shout out to he would leave his phone at home and let me press it, and then, and let me play with it. And then when I finally got a job, I got a job with a smartphone company. So, it just made so much sense.
Yes.
And then one day when a new product came in, we hadn't launched it yet. And my boss took his phone and then put it over my shoulder and sort of just recorded me opening the phone. And that was that is my first YouTube video. So if you check now, you see my first YouTube video is just me opening the phone and I didn't know how to edit. So all the mistakes were there. The quality was, there was no professional lighting.
Yeah.
but that was my first YouTube video, and that is how I got into creating tech content. And yeah, so far so good. This was 2015 when I started. Yeah,
amazing. And now you're a multi-millionaire from content. So now let's talk about the business of streaming, because it's also a concept that a lot of people have not been able to sort of grasp. Some people just create content because they really love it. They don't know there's a business side to it. So what are the multiple streams of revenue? How can one make money from the content that they create online? So let's talk about the different platforms.
Different platforms?
Yes, and their revenue model.
Okay, so far, the options that we have available to us in Nigeria is just, for YouTube, we have all the avenues, which is YouTube monetization, where they pay you per 1,000 people who watch your video. They have like super thank badges and things like that, where people buy. So just to show you that they're supporting you, they'll get a badge. When they comment, you see their badge on there, that kind of thing. We also have, on YouTube, we have other smaller streams of income, but the major ones are just YouTube monetization and the special thank, the
special likes.
Yeah, the special likes, super likes, that kind of thing. On Meta, that's on Facebook, same thing. We have monetization. We have monetization. I feel like that's the major one for Facebook, but we also have all those smaller streams where people do the super like, super thank, and I know that they don't call it the same thing, but it's basically does the same thing. For TikTok, which is more common, people give you gifts. They buy the gifts with money, and then you receive the gift. So even when you don't go like live and stream, people can still see your video and add a gift to you. So right now I have like gifts that I don't know where they came from. I just know that some people watch my videos and just give me money. It comes in form of like teddy bear, hearts, ice cream. That ice cream so good. That's money, actually. The NPC character, yeah.
Yes, because it was viral at some point.
Yes.
And I was seeing people's fathers, aunts, nieces doing the animated character. I was tempted to do the same.
We see some celebrities do the same. Like, it's a culture. So it's not just about even getting money. It's just like, it's a whole, I don't know how to put it, but it's a culture on TikTok. One of the first things that you find unusual is that a lot of people go live and they get a lot of gifts, thrown at them. And then, the first time is a little bit disconcerting, but you eventually get used to it. For Instagram, I think they're starting soon, but so far so good. They haven't paid anyone in Nigeria on Instagram, like based on, super thanks, super like, or any kind of monetization on Instagram. So you will not be able to monetize. But when it comes to, as a personal brand, you always would get people hit you up on your DMs telling you to promote one thing or the other. That is a major source of income for a lot of Nigerians, because brands have adopted this as their main, they're part of their social media marketing. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, now thank you for saying that, because I had wanted to talk about influencer marketing. Chiamaka, aka Chivera, you're very huge when it comes to influencer marketing. You've worked with several brands. Please take us through the process. How do these brands approach you, and how do you make money?
Okay, well, it's all about building your brand and, making it, giving value to your viewers, and also the brand. The brands are watching. They're watching what you're doing. They're watching what you're putting out there. So you have to create contents that will make your audience actually, engage in your content, so that when you are selling something to them, they will actually buy. And these are things that brands look out for. You have to build your platform. You have to build your brand and make it sellable, actually, so that these brands will actually reach out to you and tell you, want you to sell this for us, because they are there, they're watching, they're seeing the engagement, they're seeing the comments. And if you are if you're a brand that people actually love, if you're a brand that is not really out there to, deceive people, you have to make your brand trustworthy, so that these other companies can actually reach out to you to sell their products to them. And I've worked with so many brands. I've worked with global brands. I've worked with, Korean brands and so many of them. And the reason why they will keep coming back is if you give them value for their money, value for what they actually paid for. And if they see engagement from your audience, engaging in that content and actually going out to sell. If your
so by
your
engagement, do you mean likes and
whatever
comments?
You sell? Yeah, likes, comments, because you are selling likes, comments, even the conversions. Because sometimes
so by conversion you mean what?
And links and, affiliate links that you put on your, profile, and your viewers, your audience can actually click and, purchase those things. So these are things that, all these companies look out for. So, and also engagement, because if you create a video of an ad and there's no engagement, or people are not saying, okay, let me check this out, brands won't reach out to you to actually, advertise for them. So it's very important to build this platform, build this brand, build an audience that will trust you and know that if you're selling something to them, they know that you're truthful about it. You're not going to deceive them or scam them or anything. So that's basically how you can, build a brand so that companies can reach out to you.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, speaking of building brands, Jamak has mentioned creating engagement, having a very loyal audience that if you put a link, people can buy from that link. So the question now is, Eric, how can one grow that audience?
Through consistency. I think building a community is all about consistency, showing up. So I did a video every day for a whole year, and that means that every day that my audience open their app, they are seeing my video.
Wow.
So when people know that, okay, you're going to show up again tomorrow, let me just ask this question so that maybe tomorrow you reply me. And this is something that I did too on YouTube as well. I use the comments to sort of build a community on YouTube. People are asking me for specific things, and I'm just like taking the most requested like videos, what they want to see, and I make that video, and they come and like, yay, you made this video for me, and that kind of thing. And this is what building a community is about, feeling like, having like it's like you're in a room with best friends and you're gisting with them and just like having a good time with them. So it doesn't feel so much like work when you build a community, or like when you come in, post a video and go, like, the way that a very big celebrity would. Yes, so being a content creator.
Why do I feel like that's a shade to me? But continue.
So being a content creator is not exactly like that. So you need to show up, you need to reply comments, you need to like comments. Something that Yemi taught me was like, if I post a video today, I would reply the comments when I post the next video, so that people are going to like, when they go to my page, you'll see that, oh, there are new videos there. So that's something that you can do if you're posting content every day, which is just a tip really from one of the OG YouTubers. Shout out to CME. So okay.
That's impressive. I mean, it all sounds good until actual implementation, because I know that one of the hardest things to do in this life is actually consistency, the ability to show up every single day. And for a lot of creators, especially young creators, Chivera, how do you think they can stand out in an industry that seems to be saturated? Because every young person seems to be a content creator now. Even my father has a ring light. That's how much everybody wants to be in content creation. So how does one stand out in such a saturated industry?
Yeah, I always tell people to like have a niche. It's very important to have a niche, because it will make you like, if people are following you or if they are coming to your page, they know what they are coming for. For me, I create relatable content, and if people are, following me, if they're coming to my page, they know that if they come back tomorrow, they're going to see relatable content. If you have a niche, then build that niche, build your audience, engage with your audience. I always tell people this: engage with your audience. Don't just post the content and leave. No. You have to reply comments, because if you reply me, I'll feel like coming back again to actually comment. Build that relationship, that nice relationship with your audience, so that whenever you post, they're going to engage, and it will be like a family, a community. It's very important to build a community. If you engage with your audience, you ask them questions, you know what they want. It's very important to know what your audience wants. You check your videos, you check your analytics, you know the content that your audience are actually engaging in. Create more content like that. From one content, let's say one of your content goes viral, you can actually recreate that content. This is what they are looking for. You are serving them. You're not serving yourself. If not, to just create content that we love. But this is for your audience. So when you build that relationship with your audience, it will make them to keep coming back, and they will keep growing, and they'll even call their family members, their friends, come and see this. Because I always meet people, they're always like, I love your video. I showed your video to my mom. I showed your video to my sister. That's how you grow. That's how you build your audience and sustain that relationship and make them to keep coming back. And before you know it, your content will start going viral, because they have to share, they have to comment, and all those likes, share, they're very important in growing your content. So. Yeah.
All right. I'm taking huge notes. I'll start replying my comments from now on. Eric, we see content creators buying cars, buying houses, and then people always question the legitimacy of their income. Is she really a content creator? So can you tell us specifics as a YouTuber? Let's even attack it platform by platform. So as a YouTuber, how much can a YouTuber earn for 1,000 views?
As high as 40 USD, depending on the niche and depending on where people are watching from. So there are countries with high RPM, which is how much you get for 1,000 people who watch your ads. And if it's as high as 40 USD, that means that for, say, 100,000 views, how much would that be? So let's add 3 zeros behind 40. That's like what, 40K, right? Or is it?
I think it's about $40,000.
So yeah, and I see like some, high RPMs and some low RPMs. So it all depends on what markets and what country is watching your video. Usually, a lot of countries watch your videos. We have like maybe, for me, it's like 100 and maybe 190 countries. But like there are major countries like Nigeria. For me, it's Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, India, and Pakistan, that kind of thing. But for some other people, it's UK, US, Ireland, Dubai, UAE, and that's like a high CPM. So if you want to get like a lot of money, you would, I guess, at the end of the day, it's not just the niche; it's how much you appeal to a broader audience. Yeah, exactly.
Because I've noticed it, and then why is it that the RPM for certain countries is sort of lower for the RPM for certain countries? For example, on YouTube, I do 2 contents, right? The dating show that I do, I have about 70% of the viewers out of Nigeria. And then the interviews usually have more Nigerians watching, about 70%. And I earn way less for more views for the interviews. For example, if I have 200,000 views on a Nigerian interview, my dating show just does about 20,000 views. I sometimes earn more money on the 20,000 views video than the 100,000 views. Than the 200,000 views. Why is that?
Well, for me, this is what I think. Advertisers want to show a specific group of people ads, and whenever you're watching from your Nigerian IP in Nigeria, if you're living in Nigeria and you're watching a video, the kind of ads that you see are different from the ads that someone that is living in the US or UK is going to see. So at the end of the day, it costs a lot more. It costs a lot more for the advertisers to show the eyes of people in the UK compared to the eyes of people in Nigeria. This is like I don't know how else to put it, but it's sort of like for every one person that watches your video in Nigeria, advertisers don't pay as much as for every one person that watches your video in the US and UK in UAE. Yeah.
Simply because of the purchasing power as well.
Purchasing power is part of it, but at the end of the day, it's like, global brands, big budgets, and their market they are focusing on, the people who have money. So, which is...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a very huge shift to our country. Chivera, you are also very big on YouTube. Can you shed more light on how we can actually make money on YouTube?
Okay. Just like I always say, it depends on your content. You have to create engaging contents to make people to keep coming back. You have to create engaging contents because if you don't create engaging content, the algorithm might not really push your content, because when people engage and when people comment and when people love and when people actually come back and subscribe to you, the algorithm will actually push your videos to them. That's how it actually works.
What other countries do they watch your content? If you post a video. What other countries do they watch your content from?
In India, Philippines, Indonesia, Kenya, Ghana, like so many, Nigeria, of course, but India and Nigerians, they are dragging the...
So I noticed that most of the countries you mentioned are actually in Asia. Does it have anything to do with the Korean series that you do, the telenovela-related series that you do? Because we need to also really break these things down. So is that the reason why a lot of people from Asia are watching your content?
Yes, that's why I said you should know your audience. If you know your audience, you know what they are coming back for. When I started that series, it just boomed, and I'm like, okay, people love this series, and I have to keep doing it. I started it. It was just like a one-time thing. I even did everything alone, and people loved the series. They engaged. They loved it. I'm like, okay, this content is doing well. Then I have to start a series, and I think that's where the Asian audience, came from. I started the series. I've done so many of them. So yeah, it's just know your audience and know what to give them, and they'll keep coming back.
Thank you very much. And of course, thank you so very much, Eric. Thank you, Chivera. We've had such a robust conversation. And
thank you.
Yes, I am truly hoping that this helps a young creator out there to just keep going, keep pushing. Don't just stand
pleasing me.